Hi world, it's the 20th of March, it's 10:40 in the morning UK time, and it is Equinox, or to use another term, Equilux. Equal night in Latin equals equinox, equal light in Latin equals equilux. It is that time where on the planets on our Earth's annual orbit around the Sun, where it reaches one of those 2 points every year where for a few hours the Sun is directly overhead on our earthly equator. Because the Earth is tilted and rotates on its axis, every year this only happens for a couple of moments. The vernal or equinox and the other equinox, which I can't remember the name of, later in the year. This is the opposite to the solstices. Solstice equals Latin sun still, when the Sun is overhead on either the Tropic of Cancer at 23 degrees north or the Tropic of Capricorn at 23 degrees south. This is the angle of the Earth's orbit. Equal day, equal night. On most places of the globe, the northern and southern polar regions may act a little bit differently. It's the time of emerging in the southern hemisphere, coming into the dark hours now, 6 months of the darker times. In the northern hemisphere, 6 months of lighter times. It's the swing into the light, out of the dark, and or vice versa. And as the Sun moves past the equinox point, of course, it moves into Aries. The equinox point is always 0 degrees of Aries. 0 degrees 0. It is the start of the new year. Astrologically speaking, the entrance of the Sun into Aries marks the beginning of something new. As the Sun moves into Aries, so it's going to conjunct in rapid order both Mars and Uranus. And this will culminate in the full moon in about 3 weeks' time, when there's going to, all hell's going to, what am I saying, in 3 weeks' time, in 1 week's time, when all hell is going to break loose one way or another. It's already beginning to happen in various political, economic aspects in the world. I do expect the coming week to get increasingly hairy and increasingly fraught, and I expect all forms of market tables to be going all over the place. The only people who can speculate and be successful at this time are the truly lucky or the truly fortunate, or those with a time machine. This is not a time for speculation, and the sensible people over the coming week will not act in knee-jerk ways. They will sit back and watch and wait and see what the outcomes are going to be in 2 weeks' time. There's likely to be large-scale changes over the coming week, not just economically and financially, but also potentially politically. A number of structures are going to have to be rejigged. And this is not the final deal. This is not the end result. This is the first incisive moment of the correction. We've been talking about the correction for years, and it's here in 2013, and this is the actual doors of the correction opening. We're now stepping into unknown territory. No boundaries anymore, no borders, there's no maps where humanity's going as of this time. And this period of concentrated and progressed, accelerated and somewhat scary evolution will peak, astrologically speaking, in the 3rd week of July this year, which I have been looking at for a fair few years and thinking, oh, that's going to be interesting. One thing that's happening today, with the Sun moving into Aries, with the Moon at the moment in early Cancer, opposing Uranus, squaring Mars, opposing Pluto, squaring Uranus, squaring Mars. It does seem that today is a day where a number of doors are starting to be finally and permanently closed. If any of you have found that the last 4 years have had far more than the normal amount of crises, trauma and unpredictability about them, then in many ways today is the beginning of the end. It is the time where doors are closing, and by the end of July you will be able to start again in a way that is far less hindered and restricted by current environments. Interesting day today. Happy Equinox, and takes place in about 40 minutes, so an appropriate thing would be to say, see you next year. Bye.